everyone. This is Locke, or Mad Monkey Love, and we are going to talk about sketch covers. Today we're going to talk about paper quality. So, if you don't know, on my Instagram, I do a lot of sketch covers. Most of the time, I have a Whatnot channel, and I do commission sketch covers. So, in other words, I pick up a lot of blank sketch covers. So let me give you a little bit of history about sketch covers and why am I doing this video. Well, the video is about one or two companies out there who are starting to release sketch covers, and they need to know a few things. It's more of a gripe than anything else, right? So, an example on let's say typical the big three, Image Comics, Marvel, and DC. Through the year, they've been doing some really good quality sketch cover. So here's an example. Back in the day, when Marvel started releasing sketch covers, this is any sketch cover 2013 below, 2012, 10, and so forth. Whenever they release sketch covers, when they first started releasing sketch covers, they had really wonky sketch covers. Some of it were too glossy, some of it the paper was too thin, and sometimes, for example, this is a 2013 Fantastic Four that I picked up from, I believe, Who Dat Comics. On the Banner Brothers sale. I had this cover before. I think I painted the thing on it. I think it's on my Instagram. But I really like this sketch cover of the Fantastic Four. The reason for it is the cardstock that they use. It's pretty damn thick. If you notice, a lot of my sketch covers consist of mixed media. A lot of the time I use water-based paint. In other words, I use acrylic paint mixed with water, ink washes, Copic markers, and so forth. So what happens is when I ink or draw on this, some of this stuff seeps through. So I would use a backing board with every sketch covers that would go in between like that, and I would tape it down on a board, and I would paint and so forth. So that's how I go about it. That's a little bit of history of my sketch covers. So what's been happening is I've been, as an artist who does a lot of sketch covers, I find certain ways, like certain times, if the cover's too thick, I would use a light sandpaper, like a nail polish sandpaper kind of thing, and I would rub on it or something like that, or I would prime it with some sort of gesso or something that will let the media stick, like a spray or something like that. So that's my gripe for that. So anything 2013. But after that, as things got better, Marvel and DC has been producing some really fantastic sketch covers. What I liked is DC's been providing sketch covers with these piece of, I guess, vellum paper that goes on top. I guess it's kind of like wax paper that will protect the cover when I receive it from my local comic shop. So that way, if they happens to jump around, you'll see things like here we go, when they get scuff. So you'll see edges that get scuffed like that. But, that's not going to kill me. But a lot of the time, the collectors that buy my sketch cover submit these for grading, and I have to make sure that the paper, stuff like that. So, anyways, so this is kind of cool, but there's a consistency. So what's happening is I'm getting good quality cardstock, right? They withstand paint, ink, and so forth. So as you can see, it's pretty good. So this is Image Comics. Then you get third-party companies. For example, I don't want to hit on Mark Spears. I mentioned I was on a live stream with him about it, and we mentioned about his paper quality. And as you can see, there is ripples, and that is because I use a watercolor, an acrylic wash to make this background. So you get a nice smooth transition, but you can see as you apply water to the surface, the paper kind of does these little warp kind of stuff, right? And, so here we go in the back here, just to give you an idea, right? The paper is still okay, but it's basically not as nice as something like this, where there is color wash here, and it is not wrinkling the paper all the way through, as you can see, compared to something like that. So if you're, an up-and-coming company and all that stuff, hit up us, some of these print companies and see if you can grab some of the paper quality. I'm sure they're using the same cardstock at most of these stuff. So that leads us to some other sketch card companies, or sketch covers, sorry, not sketch card, right? So I got something like Betty Page here, right? This is from, I don't know what the company, Dynamite. Dynamite has a tendency to be the same. So between Dynamite and EC, right, here's a Transformer image comic. Images has been producing quality sketch covers. So in other words, their cardstock is actually cardstock, and it actually withstand a lot of abuse, which I love, right? So that's one of the things. So I'm down to two other companies, right? So beside the Keen Spot company, right, I have something from Dynamite. So Dynamite's, I have these Vampirella covers too, and they're using somewhat subpar blanks. They have printing on them and stuff, but I know that when I'm when I'm doing anything with Dynamite, the paper tends to soak up a lot of, if you're using alcohol-based markers, it will soak up a lot of ink. It will soak up a lot of stuff. And the paper tends to, when you soak up a lot of stuff, your lines become blurry, your paint bleeds between each other, and so forth. So we have to be very, very careful. So we're just basically tiptoeing around when we're doing art, right? Or we come up with a way where we don't use wet medium, just dry medium, color pencils and pencils. So that is basically what our workaround is. Then I get into where, like, EC has consistency problem too. So is Dynamite. These two companies and so forth. So, like, sometimes you'll get quality cardstock. Other times, like today, I went to my LCS. This is 2025. And this is my big gripe right now. EC released this new Cruel Kingdom issue 1. And, it's fantastic art inside. And I love getting, indie comics or third-party comics besides just being Image, DC, and Marvel. I like getting other companies' material. The only issue is I've been getting a lot of these really thin photocopy kind of paper. It's basically, they're using literally, I believe, the same cardstock to print the inside of the book on the outside of the book. So that's my gripe. If you're using color pencils, pen, ink, you probably can get away with it. If you decided to color this, I mean full-on color using any water-based material, from Copic to wash and all that stuff, might as well throw the book out. I don't think it's going to work. You have to use some sort of dry media on this stuff. If you do use wet, it's got to be really light. Tape it down or coat it with something. That's my only thing. Now that's my gripe, because for the reason for it, as a sketch artist, I'm paying $4.99 like every other book, where I get $7.99 for that book, $9.99 for this book, right? But why am I paying more for crappy sketch cover when I can actually go with Image Comics for $3.99, DC for $4.99, Marvel for $4.99, and so forth. As you can see, this is really what it comes down to. Paper quality is the key. If you're gonna make me spend a premium on a book, please give me better quality paper. That's all I'm asking for. I'm willing to pay that extra dollar for, better quality, because it does rely on. I do have a fan base who actually wants some of these, who wants monsters and other creatures drawn on it. But now, if you want an issue 1 of Cruel Kingdom and you want something drawn on it, I'm gonna have to tell them, like, look, all I can do is color pencils, pen and ink, and spray fixative to, keep it there. I won't be able to do some nice fancy colors like I want to do. Even if I use an airbrush on this, it's gonna suck. I have to be very, very careful. And I feel like if I tape this down, the paper is gonna rip. That's what this feels like, right? That's the same thing for Dynamite cover also. So sorry for the long rant, but if you are these company, hey, reach out to me if you want. I can point you in the right direction on getting the proper paper type. I'm sure any printing companies out there can give you samples of paper type, and that will bring up the quality of your book, especially for collectors, and original art. Like, I'm assuming EC, Dynamite, believe that most people buy these sketch covers and go to Comic Cons, hand it to their artist friend, and they use a Sharpie on it, and it's good enough. And that's mostly likely the case. But there are artists out there who actually do fantastic work, just beside myself, a lot of indie artists who likes working on giving quality to their collectors, especially when they're working on, obscure titles like these, which is fantastic, because there is a fan base for it. And please, by all means, give them quality paper, give them quality product. They're willing to pay that extra dollar more for the better quality paper because they know they're going to spend a lot of money on art on this, right? If you're going to spend $150 to $200 to commission an artist and then up to work on a cover, you want that cover, you want the paper to be really, really good. So yeah, please, EC Comics, Dynamite, Keen Spot, any other third-party companies out there, commission an artist to look at the paper, tell them to pick the paper type that works best, right? Get a feel for the industry out there, and don't give us this. Why am I paying $4.99 for a blank sketch cover that I could just literally print this from my inkjet printer and staple the damn thing on? That's really what this is. So that's my gripe. Remember to subscribe, and click the like or whatever. Okay? Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one, and hopefully you guys are still drawing.